Welcome everyone to another Supplier Spotlight. I'm excited today to have my friend Tyler, who is a fellow techie and has a really cool product. I wouldn't even say it's a product. You have a technology solution for cremation companies and funeral homes. So introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about Parting Pro.
Yeah, so my name is Tyler Yamasaki. I'm the CEO and one of the co-founders of Parting Pro. For those that don't know, Parting Pro is the leading online arrangement platform for funeral homes. So our mission has always been to create the best death care experience for both professionals and the families they serve. And I know, Ryan, you and I both have always really pushed or known that there was this big disruption coming for the funeral
Yeah.
industry from technology and the internet and how consumers are interacting with businesses. And before it was kind of like a slow, I don't know, it's like a slow burn and people knew it was coming, but it wasn't here. But I think within the past 30 days or so, with the catalyst being COVID-19 and this pandemic, that disruption is here, and being able to serve a family online is really vital to a funeral home's business now.
Oh, absolutely. And we were talking off camera. I think the last 30 days we've moved the profession forward by force about 5 years, and how they embrace technology. So, I mean, what changes are you seeing happening right now?
Yeah, so while some of them, maybe struggling to adapt in this new, social distance directing, Parting Pro has really, given our customers the tools needed so that they don't need to see a break in their business. In fact, because of the seasonality of death care and everything, we'll normally see 10 to 20% more volume from funeral homes this time of year, but we've actually seen the volume almost double from our customers in the past 2 months, which is huge. And this is kind of like the new normal that we found ourselves
Yeah.
in. Like, it has really highlighted those companies that relied on the in-person meetings and kind of the single way of arranging in person versus those that had an all-encompassing way to serve families, whether that be online, in person, or really a mix of both. I think is what's going to be successful.
Absolutely. I mean, what are the differences that you're seeing with online families versus in-person families?
I mean, I think this is really similar to how the profession once viewed burial versus cremation families. Like, there were two completely different types of families in the minds of the profession. They once treated them differently. Like, if you were a cremation family, you got kind of put into this boat, and if you were thought of a certain way and you were a burial, you were treated another. And I think what we've come to understand is that you shouldn't or can't really categorize families by disposition type anymore.
Hmm.
And I think the same thing is happening here. And even, I think that as has been a mistake sometimes is where a family doesn't need to be categorized as an online customer or a in-person customer. Well, momentarily, I think they're kind of forced to kind of be mostly
Yeah.
online. But after we get back to some type of normalcy, I believe we're going to be in a different era. Families are going to become multi-dimensional customers. You're going to have everyone expecting the, you know, during pandemic luxuries that you're used to of like interacting with the business online. Like, an example of this would be pre-pandemic, my parents didn't know how to use Caviar or DoorDash or
Hmm.
even knew what it was, right? But now it's really a part of every meal discussion. Like, should we use one of these services to get food? And they're not going to just all of a sudden stop using these luxuries or these
Right.
services because everything has changed. And I think that's going to be the same thing that's going to happen here, is like that feeling that millennials once had about, why am I forced to fax this document over to the funeral home when there's digital signatures? Or that's going to become a part of everyone's thinking now, because like you said, everything's been pushed up 5 years. So there's really no expectation anymore to be behind the curve as much as, I think we've kind of understood the funeral profession has been for forever.
Yeah, forever. Yeah, absolutely. So I was having a conversation the other day with one of the streaming companies, and it was, you know, I think ongoing, it's not going to be like an option if you want online streaming. It's going to be we're having an in-person gathering and you get the online streaming as part of it. Like, this is you give someone a taste of the adaption of funeral homes. Like, you're not going to be able to just rip that away and go back to the way things were. So, that said, what's Parting Pro actually doing for funeral homes?
Yeah, so Parting Pro instantly equips funeral homes with the ability to really manage parts or even the entire family experience online. So funeral homes will be able to arrange online, collect payment, all the paperwork signed and returned all online. We play with any website, whether that's a big brand like, Funeral One or a custom website by your local provider.
Mm-hmm.
We also allow, families to start arranging online. The paperwork and the vitals are all now completed quickly without fax machines, or there's no back and forth. Payment can be done by credit card through, email instead of having to like call and maybe like run the card over the phone. So an example of this is, one of our customers have seen a case go from initial price shopper phone call. So this is like not even a confirmed customer. They went through arrangement selections, they made payments, they selected merchandise, they did all their vitals, authorizations, and paperwork. All that was done in 18 minutes.
Wow.
And our customer was able to do this from his cell phone. So he got the phone call, he initiated everything from accessing it through his cell phone, and that whole process was completed. Next, all he had to do was basically go pick up the loved one and bring them in, and do actual work. But all the arrangement stuff, all the mundane paperwork collection, all that stuff was completed online. We also don't require you to have to change your website provider or your management system if you already have one. And you also, I think, one of the things that we had always pushed was we're more cremation focused.
Okay.
But that was more because I think people weren't willing to put, a $10,000-$15,000 purchase on a credit card without coming into a funeral home. That's probably going to change, and we're actually seeing that happen now. Like burials can go on to Parting Pro, burials can be arranged online. It's obviously going to still have they're still going to probably have more cremation cases coming through, but it doesn't mean that it's not possible. So we will work with any type of funeral home in all different types of capacities, and we have a bunch of different tools that could fit, the workflow if you already have certain parts of that already figured out.
Are you seeing Parting Pro be a lead driver for funeral homes?
Yeah, so people can come on to the website, and we actually see anywhere from 5 to 10% of the cases that our customers get do not have that initial phone call to the funeral home. They will actually come onto the website and convert from just a person that was visiting the website to an actual case. And so some of our customers will just receive a notification saying they got a new case in Parting Pro, and this actual payment already collected, and the family's already started on the vitals and already filled out some of that paperwork. But I will say that it's still a mindset change. That's not going to happen every time. You still need to create that as Parting Pro will just equips you with those tools to be able to do stuff like that. So if you think that, an online customer is an online customer and only wants to be an online customer, and you're going to treat them that way, then you still kind of have to make that mental leap into, us thinking that this is just another tool in your belt to be able to serve a family.
So in the current kind of situation that we're in with virtual arrangements, are you seeing more of your customers using Parting Pro as that virtual arrangement tool? So like on a Zoom call, they're just going through it together, and that's how they're making the arrangement?
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I mentioned earlier about the doubling of usage. That's not from new customers. That's from our current customer base that is now forced to, or, giving the families the option to not come in because of maybe social distancing, or maybe that was the first time they're actually offering it as an alternative to coming in. And families are opting to do that. And so we've seen case counts going through Parting Pro more than double just because of, the current situation. And like we mentioned before, I don't think that's really that will change once everything kind of opens up again, but it's not going to go back to how it was.
That's right.
I think this has catapulted us.
That's
Definitely.
right. Excellent. Well, I appreciate you taking the opportunity to come on today. I think this is super timely. We're in the conversations I'm having daily with funeral professionals are how to navigate just the entire thing virtually. I was getting text messages just as we were chatting. We have a funeral home locally that's doing a drive-in funeral, and they're a client of ours. So we're trying to help post these things. But it's been interesting to see how creative funeral homes that allow themselves to be creative are getting in serving families. And I think this conversation is insanely timely. So if a funeral home wants more information about Parting Pro and what you guys can do for them, what's the best way for them to reach out to you?
They can just email hello@partingpro.com, and we'll take care of you.
That's pretty simple. All right, Tyler. Well, we were supposed to see each other a week ago at ICCFA, and that didn't happen. So hopefully we'll run into each other this summer at a state convention or NFDA later this fall.
Yeah, hopefully.
All right. Take care.
Yeah.